Welcome, scared Viennese orphans, to Geek Salad's Retro Movie Reviews from the Geek Salad Podcast. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
And tonight we wrap up our Mystery March Madness with a newer film. Kind of hard to say retro, but it was 2023. Kenneth Branagh's Haunting in Venice.
Yes, the third of his Hercule Poirot.
Hercule Poirot. Yes, and actually, I think this is the first time this particular story has ever been filmed for cinema.
Right, yeah. It's based on a book story called Halloween Party.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as I can tell, that's pretty much the limit of the connections, of the similarities between this and the original story.
Mm.
They actually re-released Halloween Party to coincide with Haunting in Venice, and they renamed it Haunting in Venice, despite the fact that in the original story, it's not in Venice, and there is no haunting.
Right. It takes place in the United States.
Yeah.
This is interesting because this is a movie it took me a while to really fully digest in terms of, speaking of digest, I apologize while I eat on camera. I have been out all day. It's the first chance I've had to eat dinner. So I'll be doing that. My apologies. I just try to talk to my mouth full. So I feel like this movie took a while to digest, mainly because I was kind of like, did I like this? Did I not like this? What is it about this movie? And as I kept thinking about it, and then thinking about the other two in the Branaugh Poirot oeuvre, I agree with our friend Tom. This is probably the best of them because I feel like this one takes the most risks.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, this is practically an original story.
Yeah, this is definitely my favorite. I think, the reason why is that I liked certain aspects of Murder in Venice. Murder on the Orient Express, in certain aspects of Death on the Nile. But there was something about each one that just like with Orient Express, as I felt like the story was great, but I didn't feel like they stuck the landing. That the solution was not as satisfactory as I was hoping. And
that ending was gangbusters in the 1940s and 50s, though, probably.
Yeah, Death on the Nile, I liked the solution, but the rest of it was like kind of all over the place. This one, I liked it because it was so compact. Everything was just in this one location, pretty much, and it had a very limited cast, so it felt the most concise and direct almost.
I
was trying to talk. I'm trying to talk while you were eating, so.
And then I took another bite. So for me, watching this movie, especially like that hour or so afterwards, because Autumn and I watched this together, and we were talking about it, and I'm like, I don't know if it felt. It was just like there's something about this movie where, because it was a much smaller cast than we're used to, and also relatively low wattage on the star power.
Yeah, really the biggest names are obviously Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
And Jamie Dornan.
And Tina Fey.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
Can't forget Tina Fey,
yeah.
Who is literally the stand-in for Agatha Christie.
Yeah. Well, Ariadne is a character from the books. From Agatha Christie did create the character, but
right, but it was her. It was her avatar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's so. First of all, really ballsy of them to kill off the newly minted Best Actress winner.
Yeah, but I mean, if you like I said, like with Murder on the Orient Express, who you kill off? The biggest star at the time, Johnny Depp. And then Death on the Nile, who you kill off? The biggest star at the time, Gal Gadot. So
right.
Who do you get? If you're the biggest name in the movie, in a Hercule Poirot movie, you're the first to die.
And it's what's interesting about this movie is that, unlike the other two, the first two movies, it doesn't need to take advantage of its location.
No,
I feel like it was there, but Venice. Usually, when you film these types of things, the setting is just as big of a star as everything else. And we think about the real Orient Express and like all the mountainsides and all that, and then Egypt in Death on the Nile, and then for this to be indoors over the course of one evening in a rainstorm where you can't really see the beauty of Venice other than a couple of quickie scenes at the beginning and at the end.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I also feel too like Branagh has found more confidence as a filmmaker.
There were a few shots I noticed in this one, like where it's following Hercule as he's running through the corridors, but it's just a steady shot on him as he's running along. So it's like basically Kenneth Branaugh had a steady cam like pretty much attached to his waist as he's just walking along. So all you can really see is Hercule in this dark hallway.
Right. I mean, this movie had very horror movie elements to it, but staying true to the character. But also, I feel like since the movie Belfast, he's really this was his first movie afterwards, and now he's got a newly established troupe of people. Jamie Dornan was in Belfast. That child,
Jude Hill.
I'm pulling up his name right now.
Jude
Hill.
Yeah,
Jude Hill was also in Belfast.
He is for someone so young. He is amazingly good in this.
Yeah, he is. There really isn't. I mean, other than the stars that we mentioned, this is really a cast of European stars, not so much American stars, which again takes balls, but as Branagh is also a reasonably newly minted Oscar winner for writing Belfast. It's kind of an interesting take. I found that the interesting about this movie is that it takes its time introducing you to characters versus Orient Express, or even Death on the Nile. I feel like if I was ranking these, Death on the Nile would probably be dead last, only because it takes forever to get to the point. They also spent a lot of time in that movie giving Poirot an unnecessary backstory that, well, I don't know if that's in the novel. It was not necessary to, give him the whole, here, why do you have the mustache? Well, it's because of these scars.
I agree. I like Death on the Nile, but it's definitely my least favorite of the three. And also like the fact that, it ends with him like shaving off the mustache and going to see that singer. And then in this one, it's like, yeah, no, we completely ignored that. Don't worry about it.
Yep. Totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Whereas in Murder on the Orient Express, the mustache is a joke.
Yeah.
When they wake him up and he's got like that contraction to keep the mustache like perfect on his face.
Yeah. And this one, it's just part of the character. Nothing more.
Yeah. And it works. I feel this is really one of those movies that's hard to kind of describe because, they add. I like how they explain how they added the supernatural elements to this. That it was essentially poisoned honey.
Yeah. And I did look it up. That is pretty much true. If you use honey made from that type of flower, it is very much poisonous. So,
so I like that they were able to give an explanation for like the jump scares, and all the like we're watching it, and Autumn's like he's going to turn around. There's going to be a person staring right back at him. Lo and behold.
Oh, in the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like it that this one I think I think more than even the other two, this one has an atmospheric quality to it.
Mm.
I mean, the other two, the scenery, like the outside scenery, is part of the story, but it never really, you don't really feel the weight of it. This one, the dark, the cramped hallways, the
Mm.
stairways, just the sounds that you hear, everything just really contributes to making this much creepier than you think it would be.
Right. And again, I feel like that just lends to the fact that this is, really all but name only an original story.
Yeah.
It's also one that hasn't been done to death.
No.
Because I'm trying to think, even if like Masterpiece Mystery had done the Halloween Party as a with David Chusset. So Halloween was released around Halloween. Yeah. For once they marketed something properly.
We saw it together when I was out there last.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm gonna look up the story, see if it has any other
adaptations.
Yeah. Adaptations. It was adapted for radio for BBC 4 back in 1993. There was an episode of Agatha Christie's Poirot that adapted this one.
All right. Was that was that with David Chusset?
Yes. And Zoe Wanamaker played Ariadne Oliver. But yeah, other than that, there was a French novel. Oh, there was like a French television series that did it, and there was a graphic novel based on it. But other than that, that is it.
Okay.
So yeah, compared to like Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile, this is a real unknown for her.
Right. Also with its cast of hundreds,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, not to cut the review too short, but I enjoyed that it was very atmospheric. I do, honestly, I do appreciate the runtime as well.
Yeah, well, just like
I'll pull it up, but I want to say it's definitely a sub 2 hour movie.
Yeah,
hour 43.
Hour
that
43.
Is tidy. Yeah. That is like back in the day. That was the perfect length for a movie,
and it flows great too.
Oh, it does.
Not a single moment I felt it was dragging.
Yeah. Well, you know what? For me, I feel like at the very beginning, it was just like a lot of, I know we have to do the setup, and we're setting up through Poirot.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to kind of get through that, and once they finally get into the house, once you're able to start telling the characters apart.
Yeah.
Because I'll admit, in that party, I couldn't tell half of the women apart.
Yeah. Once the kids leave, and Michelle Yeoh gets in, that's when the movie really kind of clicks, and it never really stops after that.
Right. Exactly. And then when he tries to bob for the apple, and somebody tries to kill him, and then Michelle Yeoh dies, and then
I did like the fact that they did do a callback to Murder on the Orient Express with the 2 eggs. But in this one, they're not even close. There's one like this and one like this.
Yeah, I'm really trying to think of other things. It's tough, because again, short movie.
Yeah,
it really isn't. I kind of feel like this is the kind of movie where you have to kind of watch it to really, understand it.
It's on Hulu, so as long as you got.
What's your excuse? And that's kind of bundled into Disney now, anyway. So.
Yeah. I'm paying for both of them separately. I wonder if they're going to automatically link them or not.
I think you can still watch if you're paying for them separately. You can still watch the other one commercial free.
Okay.
But if you pull it through Disney, you can pay for like the merged thing, or because I remember when I watched Poor Things, I did it through my Disney app, and I had to get a few ads in there, but.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm still
paid for
getting
the
used
Hulu.
to the setup now because it's just like they decided to go the European route on that.
Yeah, I paid for Hulu without commercials because I
Hmm.
fucking hate commercials, as I've said
Well,
before.
doesn't matter. You're paying for it anyway. So, you definitely recommend it on Hulu.
Yeah. Yeah, and what honestly, watch it at night.
Yeah.
I think that it's atmospheric enough. It's not overly scary, but there are a few moments that are like, okay, there's enough atmosphere that'll like kind of like get your danger sense tingling.
Right. Okay, this is interesting too because the music was done by Hildur Gonendottir, who actually won an Oscar for doing the music for Joker, but she also did Women Talking. She did the music for Tar.
Oh,
So she's
oh, yeah.
definitely done quite a bit of high profile music, and like I said, she won an Oscar for doing the music for Joker.
Yeah,
Um,
she's a professional cellist as well.
yeah, and it kind of makes sense when you listen to the score.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's like I apologize, folks. It's late, and it's like all I can really say is I really had a good time with this movie. It's a, as Mike, you and John were saying, watch it at night. It's a,
Yeah.
it's a definitely one of these movies that it's tame if you're not a horror fan. You can enjoy the fact that you've got a mystery to solve. Always a great thing. You got the mystery to solve. And you get like that multi-tiered resolution.
Yeah.
Which is an Agatha Christie staple.
Yeah. And like John said, this is actually a perfect Halloween movie for people that don't want to watch like a straight up horror movie. If you want like a movie that's a little bit more creepy, a little bit more atmospheric, but still fine for general audiences, this is fantastic for it.
Yeah, and it's just like I said about the multi-tier Agatha Christie resolution.
Yeah,
we find out who done it, but then there's other motivators that fall within that as well, and you'll find those out. I'm not going to spoil those because they're actually pretty interesting in this movie.
Yeah, I do like the fact that Ariadne is not just an Agatha Christie like Mr. Watson type.
Yeah,
but she actually has some motivation of her own.
Mm-hmm. As well as the police officer.
Yeah, his
bodyguard.
Who, not gonna lie, when that guy is like chasing after Poirot in the beginning, and he's clotheslining him.
Yeah,
it shoves him right into the water.
God, I just can't imagine what that. I've never been to Venice, so I can't vouch for if that water actually smells.
I can't imagine it being the cleanest water in the world.
No. Yet every movie you see somebody like get knocked into. I mean, For Your Eyes Only pushes a small child into that. Last Crusade, guys just jumping out of their boats into it.
Yeah. Probably gonna need a tetanus shot after that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know, Mike. I think that's about all I have to say about this movie. I mean, in a good way. I kind of feel like when we cut these short. Actually, I feel like if we went long, it's because we didn't like the movie. But
yeah.
I think what drives me a little nuts is that it's impossible to find a place for streaming Orient Express.
Yeah, Orient Express. Death on the Nile is that one on Netflix?
I believe that's on Hulu also.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, when we were working out this month, we had that one. We had Murder on Orient Express. We had Death on the Nile.
It's on FX now.
Oh.
So you can get it if you're subscribing to the FX streaming service.
Which I'm not.
Yeah. And I'm looking at this cast. I just remember this movie suffered from, a Death on the Nile kind of suffered from the massive delay that it had. Also, that Armie Hammer was one of the stars of it, and that didn't help matters. And
this one, I mean, this one had a $60 million budget, which I'm not exactly sure where it all went to.
Yep.
But box office of 122, so it doubled. So I mean, it wasn't.
Is that global box office?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's not bad. These movies they don't do gangbusters business, especially post pandemic. They don't.
Yeah. I'm kind of looking over. It has 76% on Rotten Tomatoes, which.
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds about right to me.
Yep. Yeah. Worldwide gross 122.
Hmm?
And actually had a reasonably decent opening weekend in the U.S. 14 million. Oh, that's the water.
Yeah. If you go to Venice, do not go swimming.
Yeah. No. Not if people are chasing after you in one of their fancy little boats.
Yeah. Whatever you do, do not go between the boats.
Yeah. Go between them. Are you crazy? So anyway, that was A Haunting in Venice. We want to know, have you watched this one yet? Yeah. I kind of feel like, people that know, but definitely a really great discovery, especially if you're looking for something to watch at home. You have Hulu, and you've exhausted all your other options, and maybe you're just looking for a couple of tight jump scares on a rainy night.
Yeah.
Actually, outside right now where it's raining, perfect night to watch this movie.
Oh yeah, it's downpouring right now. So
yeah, if you're on the East Coast right now, you are stuck in rain. So definitely give it a watch. But we'd love to know if you have seen it. Leave that polite comment below. Also, how would you rank the trilogy of the Branaugh Poirot movies, and how do these compare to some of the other filmed adaptations, especially the cinematic stuff, the stuff with Peter Ustinov and Albert Finney?
You know what? I've actually got BritBox. I might have to check out some of that the David Suchet.
Yeah, definitely give that a try.
I'll check out what the Halloween Party one and see how it very stacks up against this one.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out too. If it's on there, let me know. I'd like to.
I can check.
Oh, there you go. You can do that. So, and I'll go over all the social media stuff. So, thank you. If this is the first time joining us, welcome. Go back, check out the last couple of episodes because we've been talking a lot of great movie mysteries. Really love the Knives Out series. Really enjoyed this one. Really enjoyed Clue. So check that out. You can hit that subscribe button so you can get our weekly reviews. Also, give the video a thumbs up. Helps us in the algorithm, which is really all that matters. Mike and I also host a podcast called Geek Salad. You can check that out wherever you get your podcasts. I'm not going to list them out because they keep changing. I just actually, speaking of which, because I use Google Podcasts, just switched over to Pocket Cast, so I'll see how that works because I just need something with similar functionality, and I can't do Spotify for that.
Halloween Party right there. And ironically enough, the next episode after that, Murder on the Orient Express.
Fantastic. I'll check those out. I'll check we have BritBox as well. I'll definitely check that out.
I think that's Toby Jones. The guy who played he was in Captain America's
Arnim Zola.
Yeah,
he's only like 4 years older than me too, which is like terrifying.
Jeez, really? No, I don't want to play. No, stop. Go away.
Yeah. So anyway, so we've got all that there. If you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast and at Geek Salad Radio, on Twitter, on Blue Sky, and on Threads. I do a terrible job on the latter, so just find us there. Maybe it'll spark my interest to start posting stuff there. Next month, we start anew. And it's April, which means it is the Geek Salad official month of Disney. I know we've decided to do something, but I don't remember what that was, Mike.
I thought we had decided on some of the lesser known Disney animated ones from like the 70s and 80s.
Like the dark period.
Yeah, like Rescuers Down Under, Great Mouse Detective, stuff like that.
Yeah. Stuff that might fall just barely in the Eisner, but more in the Ron Miller camp.
Yeah. And for the most part, ones that I haven't seen yet.
Oh, perfect. See, that's how that works. So that is next month. That is our Disney month. Well, Jonna, thanks for watching, and thank you all for watching. I hope you are able to go watch this movie because it is fantastic. And until next time, I'm Andy.
Oh, and one more thing. If you're watching this live, hi, Jonna. The next podcast episode of Geek Salad will be posted as soon as we finish.
Boom. So, hey, bonus episode. So anyway, folks, thank you. And until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth and be nerdful. We'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Creep.